Yo, Sanjo Che here, people. What's going on? Welcome to my review of Gundam Build Divers for this week, episode 4. I know it's a bit late, or later than usual in terms of putting up this review, but sorry about that. But you're here now, so let's dive right into it, no pun intended. Be sure to rate, comment, subscribe as per usual, and let's get into it. So, episode 4, episode title Tiger Wolf of the Sacred Mountain. Now, coming right off the episode, I must say, it was an okay episode. I thought last week's episode was definitely better, more entertaining, for me at least. It was an okay episode, very straightforward, very simple plot, which revolved around Riku just based on his desire to become better as a GBN pilot. He is recommended by Magi to actually visit Tiger Wolf, which is a acquaintance of Magi, in the Asian server in GBN to basically get some recommendations and training tips to become a better pilot. And that's basically what the plot of this episode revolves around. All in all, in terms of the positives, it was good them continuing Riku's development in terms of making him a more interesting character as opposed to how he was portrayed in episode 1. This is something I've mentioned like 1 and 2 times so far in these reviews, in that Riku in episode 1 wasn't really it wasn't really anything special. I mean, at this point it's nothing world-shattering or revolutionary in terms of how it's portrayed, but efforts have been made from episode 2 and onwards, inclusive of this episode, to help his character at least, not make it be as bland. They've given him goals and drives and, something to strive for, which I can appreciate from a writing standpoint, which really helps at this episode. And it's basically the main positive of this episode, because he goes to Tiger Wolf, as I've mentioned in the plot synopsis, just to improve himself, which that's not something you would get from a bland character, which I can appreciate, and I believe anybody like watching a battle shonen can appreciate. However, I was kind of disappointed because I was expecting to get some more tidbits on the underlying or overlying plot where the mass divers in GBN are concerned, but we didn't get any of that this episode. It was pretty contained to Riku and his gang of characters. And one thing to note, their friend Momoka has actually joined GBN, and she's picked a Gunpla of her own. What I can say is that I'm kind of glad it's not some teddy bear, so because that was becoming a bit cliche with previous Build series. So there's that. We learned some interesting tidbits about GBN. Since it's a virtual world, apparently you can't get tired and you can't get hurt in GBN, which the latter seems a bit contradictory to me, because it does kind of seem like the characters can get hurt, but that was a bit contradictory to me. But it's interesting that they can't get hurt. But this facts or basis in GBN forms the notion of, or basically the basis of Riku and Yukio's training in this episode, because what we learn is that since you're so used to reacting a certain way to like certain stimulus in real life, it's basically a habit to bring the same thing into the GBN. So in order to improve as pilots, they try to train to basically discern between reality and GBN in terms of their reactions, which in turn seems to help them as pilots and their piloting skills going forward, which I thought was pretty logical in terms of that explanation, so no complaints there. But at the same time, I like how they balance it, in that by the end of this episode, in terms of the fight we have with Daniel of Desperado and his Tequila Gundam, even though they have improved, they still don't win the match of the week. I guess I'll put it like that, match of the week for this week, which is pretty refreshing, that they're not making the characters too OP, too fast, even though they're improving. It really does feel, I guess, contained, and in terms of the pacing, in terms of how far they're getting. So there's that, because multiple times throughout this episode, people call them low rank, so yeah. So there's that. Tiger Wolf himself, pretty interesting character. Definitely fits the sensei mold. I would be interested in seeing what else they could explore with his character for this the rest of the series. Even though I do suspect we won't be seeing him for a few episodes. I'm kind of curious in terms of where he ranks in this whole GBN tournament ranking. So there's that. Um, so yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of ridiculous seeing Riku and Yukio training, even though they can't get tired. Because I'm saying, what's the point really? But as I said, it really forms the basis of their training. Um, but yeah, there's not really much to say about this episode. I definitely give it like a 6 out of 10. Nothing too engaging. I'd say it feels pretty one-off, but development wise for Riku's character, just reinforcing whatever development or whatever they're trying to go for with his character now and in the future. That's really reinforced this episode with his decision to actually go there and train. But yeah, I mean, not the greatest fights, I'd say. This episode, I definitely prefer the choreography of the fights in last week's episode and the week before. So the choreography was okay for the most part, pretty stiff here and there. But overall the art was decent, not too bad. I didn't really notice anything like that. But yeah, definitely an okay episode. Definitely a 6 out of 10 for me. I'm hoping next week kind of picks up where, well, at least includes some of the underlying. It brings back something with the mass divers, and probably something connected to whoever's behind it. Probably just a little hint. That wouldn't hurt, right? So, yeah. But anyways, Sanjay Uchiha, rate, comment, subscribe. Let me know if there's anything I missed for this review. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I really hope I'm not missing anything. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, the G Gundam references were appreciated. But yeah, that's it. See you guys in the next one.